BJ Mafia was popping. So Jags fans, I hope you guys are having a great start to your week. I know it's been a little bit uneventful of a week considering the fact that the Jaguars dropped to 1-1 of the season. The Jaguars lose their home opener to the reigning and defending Super Bowl champions in the Kansas City Chiefs. And what I want to do with you guys here today is do a little bit of a different concept of a video. I want to do a little bit of a film breakdown and really kind of go over a lot of the bad things that we saw from the week 2 performance. And I'm not really going to go over a whole lot of concepts and a whole lot of coverages. I just want to give you guys a brief overview with this video. And if you guys do like these topics, make sure you guys actually go ahead and let me know in the comments down below. I want to make this a weekly thing with all of the games. I will go over some good things with this video, but before we really get into the video, if you guys please could go ahead and drop me a thumbs up. It takes 1 second and it helps me in the channel out tremendously. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe bell and you guys hit the notification bell so you guys know every time I upload. Now, kind of getting into this tape, I actually want to talk about some good to kind of briefly start off, and the good is going to come with Andre Cisco. Look at this play right here he makes on the ball. Andre Cisco's done a great job in year 3 coming out of Syracuse as being an emerging star for the Jacksonville Jaguars and in our defense. He reads the eyes of Patrick Mahomes and goes ahead and makes a great play on the ball, and he high points that ball very good. You see him with the tip pass. And then on this play right here, Andre Cisco does a great job as the single high safety, going ahead, reading the eyes of the quarterback and make sure he's able to get back in time to go ahead, high point that ball yet again and get an interception. Andre Cisco through the first 2 weeks has been the Jaguars' highest graded defender with an 86.1 PFF grade. He's allowed an NFL rating of a 26.2 when targeted in coverage. He's got 2 pass deflections, 1 interception, and 1 forced fumble. Now, another standout that we can really take a look at through the first 2 weeks and really in this game is with edge Josh Allen, who's performed extremely well. If you look back at the week 2 performance, he had 3 quarterback pressures, 1 quarterback hit, and 2 QB hurries. Even though he wasn't able to get Mahomes on the ground, I think Josh Allen did a really good job. You see him coming off the edge, beating Donovan Smith, and getting some pressure right there on Patrick Mahomes. And then on this play that was the interception by Andre Cisco, you see Josh Allen on the edge, come over on the stunt route, really put a lot of pressure and adversity, and Patrick Mahomes makes him throw it off that back foot, and obviously Andre Cisco's able to go out there on this play. Look at the way Josh Allen bull rushes in there, comes over on that stunt route, and really makes Patrick Mahomes throw that pass. Hell of a job by Josh Allen, who's played phenomenal through the first 2 weeks of the season for the Jaguars. And this next play, I gotta give a lot of credit to the sack guru number 45, K'Lavon Chaisson himself. Chaisson, through the first couple of years in the league, we obviously know he's been essentially a bust, but he does a great job, honestly, of usually being in the pocket, being at least somewhat disruptive. He's just not great at actually finishing the play and actually getting home to the quarterback, but he does the exact opposite here, beats Donovan Smith off the edge and is able to sack Patrick Mahomes. And kind of piling on, really, with all the good stuff that I've been seeing, the defense played lights out in this game. You see here, Chiefs catch the ball, but Darius Williams goes ahead and knocks the ball out. This is one of 3 turnovers the Jaguars were able to get and retain from the Kansas City Chiefs. Great play here. Darius Williams, like I said, knocks the ball out, and it's recovered by Foyesade Oluokun. This was a big play for the Jaguars. If only they could capitalize off of that turnover. Moving into the next play, what a hell of a game by Devin Lloyd. He put together a very nice game, and this was one of the standout plays from him. He does a great job of reading the eyes of Patrick Mahomes right here. He's able to tip the ball, and it's not going to be able to be intercepted by Trey Herndon or Darius Williams, but that's easily a touchdown by Marquez Valdes-Scantling if he catches that ball with a full head of steam. And with these next few plays, honestly, we're going to start just ridiculing the Jaguars, and it really has to do with this offensive line. They played an absolute porous game in week 2. You see Trevor Lawrence essentially has no time to step up in the pocket, read the defense, and there's just nothing there. You got to give a lot of credit to the Chiefs front 7 for what they did in this game. The Jaguars offensive line in week 2 allowed 12 quarterback pressures, 8 QB hurries, and they allowed 4 sacks on number 16 back there in the pocket. Walker Little, the Jaguars left tackle, was the only one that had a standout game on that offensive line. He allowed 0 sacks, 0 quarterback hurries, or 0 quarterback hits. Even this play right here by Luke Fortner, right? I know it's a miscue. You snap the ball, it goes over the head of Trevor Lawrence, and it's just a bobbled play. I get it. There's nothing you can do here, but this has to do with execution, offensive line, and really being in sync with the game. Look at this play right here. Trevor drops back to throw the ball, and I mean, Anton Harrison just gets his absolute lunch eaten right here. Now, I'm not going to sit here and overreact. Chris Jones, to me, is the best interior defensive tackle and a guy who can move all around the D-line in the game of football right now. I think he gets that edge over guys like Micah Parsons and Aaron Donald with his kind of versatility that he provides. Chris Jones, in his first game back, just absolutely wreaked havoc, even in this play right here. Trevor Lawrence tries to evade pressure off of this play action bootleg where he tries to roll out left, and there's just nothing there. The Jaguars have absolutely zero time for Trevor Lawrence to go ahead and do anything in the offensive line. Now moving a little bit off of criticism from the offensive line, let's talk about bad play calling. And it's going to start with this 2nd and 10 at the 50-yard line. A Christian Kirk pass across the field to Travis Etienne. What the hell are we doing here, Jaguars? I understand it's the second quarter. I understand trying to get cute and fancy. And maybe if Anton Harrison gets a little bit better of a block here, Travis Etienne can pick up some significant yardage. But do I trust Christian Kirk or any of our receivers to throw the ball across the field, even on a design trick play? No, I do not. Now let's get into the red zone. We got 1st and 1 at Kansas City's 1-yard line. Trevor Lawrence calls his own number here. Doug Peterson said so. But I'm sorry, Trevor. If this ball goes into the hands of Travis Etienne, this is a touchdown all day. Let's look at this from a different angle. Look at number 32, the inside linebacker, Nick Bolton. He's able to read the eyes of Trevor Lawrence the entire time because L'Jarius Sneed cannot set the edge. He goes ahead and makes a hell of a play. Let's hand the ball off there to our running backs that we've invested high draft capital into, and let's get that touchdown. Now we got 2nd and 4 at Kansas City's 4-yard line. Trevor Lawrence throws an incomplete pass here to Calvin Ridley. Now, this was a pretty good pass. Obviously, Calvin Ridley can't come down with it at the 2 feet in bounds, but you got to give a lot of credit to Kansas City's defense. Everyone in their zone defense stayed in their lanes, and Trevor Lawrence obviously had to put that ball in a spot where only Calvin Ridley could get it. It obviously fell short of staying in bounds. 3rd and 4 at Kansas City's 4-yard line. Same thing here. Trevor Lawrence, an incomplete pass over to Zay Jones. Now, he had an opportunity to really have a gap in a window in order to make this throw. Look at it from this angle. Trevor Lawrence just kind of airmails this one a little bit. And this one's definitely one that you want to have back, kind of like we saw Trevor Lawrence in that Tennessee game last year, I believe, with Christian Kirk, where you just want to have that touchdown back. Now, this play is 1st and 10 at Kansas City's 14-yard line. Trevor Lawrence has an incomplete pass over here. But if you look on this rollout to the left, he missed a wide open, I believe this was Luke Farrell, right? Trevor Lawrence, this is on another red zone drive, has the opportunity with the rollout left to go ahead and hit a Calvin Ridley or Zay Jones in stride. Look at a wide open Luke Farrell right there in the middle of the field. Just hit the easy man for 5 yards and see what kind of gainage you can get. 2nd and 10 at Kansas City's 14. Trevor Lawrence throws another incomplete pass over the middle to Calvin Ridley. And honestly, that should have been a late hit. Right? I don't care what you say. People want to call, Andre Sisco a dirty player. This hit by Justin Reed, this is well after Calvin Ridley had dropped the ball. Let's go. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3-4 steps right there. That's a late hit, but you know what? That's neither here nor there. 3rd and 10 at Kansas City's 14-yard line. Trevor Lawrence is scared, fumbles the ball, he gets pressured, and honestly, this is a loss for -2 yards after the Kansas City Chiefs had actually challenged this play. Trevor Lawrence also got hit in the face right as he threw this ball. That should have been a penalty. That should have been a personal foul. But hey, you know what? That's neither here nor there. Great job by Chris Jones by getting pressure in the face of Anton Harrison and putting that pressure on Trevor Lawrence. The Jaguars got to be better. 4th and 12 at Kansas City 16 now. Trevor Lawrence throws an incomplete pass to Calvin Ridley in the back left corner. Obviously, good ball placement, but even better coverage by the Kansas City Chiefs secondary to allow Calvin Ridley to not catch that ball and for it to be out of bounds. Now, this is where the Jaguars were down 9-17. I personally, with 4 minutes left, would have taken the field goal. The Jaguars would have had all 3 timeouts, be down 12-17, and you've still got the 2-minute warning. Your defense has been playing good all afternoon. Give your defense an opportunity to go out there and allow the Jaguars offense to potentially have a game-winning drive. Now let's talk about a few plays that you want to have back as a Jags fan. This one right here, this was early on in the game. You want to be able to make that catch. You want to be able to make that throw to Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley does a nice job coming out of his break, making sure that that ball is thrown on time and pretty accurately for the most part. That's a play you just got to have back. Even if it's just for a gain of 9 to 10 yards, you want to have that one back. Same thing here on this 3rd down play. This was a penalty that was not called. A clear and definitive hold by the Chiefs secondary on L'Jarius Sneed on Calvin Ridley. And Trevor Lawrence is begging for a PI call. Calvin Ridley's begging for a PI call. And you can see as soon as Trevor Lawrence saw that one-on-one matchup, he knew exactly where he was going to go with the ball. He dialed it up, got Calvin Ridley perfectly in break. But this was obviously a clear PI that was not called. Here's some other Calvin Ridley clips that you want to have back if you're the Jaguars. Now, this one actually was called. There was a penalty on the Chiefs secondary, so the Jaguars got that working for them in their favors. Trevor Lawrence saw them match up one-on-one on the outside. He knew Calvin Ridley had the ability to beat him on the outside. Makes a very good throw. This is a ball that Calvin Ridley should be able to come down with, but thankfully the Jaguars were able to get the PI call. This play right here was a third down situation, and you got to give a lot of credit to the Chiefs secondary safety for coming down and making that hit on Christian Kirk. This was a design play. Where I take issue with this was not necessarily Christian Kirk getting his absolute you-know-what rocked on this play. Look at Evan Ingram. He comes down, he hits the chip on Chris Jones. He's wide open right over there over the middle. And yes, of course, I have to address the elephant in the room, Jamal Agnew, with the fumble play right here. And honestly, this is completely on Jamal Agnew, right? This ball is right in front of you. The Jaguars had their opportunity right off of a turnover. This is a one-play turnover drive. We got to be better, right? Now, I think Jamal Agnew still provides a lot to this team on offense, obviously on special teams, but you got to be better here. We can't turn the ball over in that kind of position, right? But let's end this video on a good note and on a good play. What an absolute dime, a dot, and a beautiful catch as Calvin really high pointed the ball over L'Jarius Sneed. Just what a hell of a throw by a franchise quarterback. What a hell of a catch by a franchise wide receiver. If you guys like these kind of videos, make sure you guys drop me a like, drop a thumbs up, and also make sure you guys stay tuned for more Jaguars content that I do here on YouTube. Brett James, a.k.a. BJ. I'm out, y'all. Go Jags, baby. Peace.